How many of you ever thought that there are monsters in your closet or under your bed when you were little? I know I sure did, and it looks like some of you thought so too. And as soon as we got older, they disappeared, and we grew to believe that they no longer existed. But I have news for you. Did you know that there is another monster that still exists? Are you ready for it? It's called the comparison monster. We all have the tendency to let it in our lives because it's human nature. Today, I'm going to share with you how we can prevent this sneaky monster from making an appearance in our lives. But let's take a look at how it can show up. Let me start with the question. How many of you spend time on social media? I think most of us do. In fact, the average person spends 2.5 hours per day on social media. So, as you are scrolling through those photos and reels, do you ever start to notice that you start questioning your life against those reels? That's the comparison monster making a play on you. When we are scrolling through social media, we see pictures of fabulous vacation spots, people living in luxury homes, beautiful faces, and super happy people posing in cute clothes we wish we owned. And the next thing we know, feelings of inadequacy surface because the comparison monster whispers to us that we are not up to par with what we see on those reels. And let me add that the comparison monster doesn't just show up when we're on social media. That monster can show its ugly head at school, church, and even within our family community. For instance, at school, it's common to hear kids say things like, "I wish I had a straight hair. It looks so much better than mine." Or, "Why am I so short?" Or, "Why is my life so boring compared to that popular kid?" And now, it's time for me to confess that I have been overcome by the comparison monster too. When I was in 3rd grade, gymnastics was one of my absolute favorite things to do in the world. At my gym, I was moving up the levels really fast, and not to brag or anything, but I was the star of my class. But then, wham! Out of the blue, a new girl joined our class, and soon I felt my confidence deflate like a popped balloon. She could do all these amazing tricks that I have been trying to do for a long time, but they just never worked for me. Everyone was looking at her, and I felt like I had turned invisible. It only got worse from there. One day, I saw her do a trick with ease. It was a trick I had done before, but for some reason when I did it, it was as though a clumsy elephant was doing it. And the dialogue in my head kept spinning down the wrong lane. I kept asking myself, why can't I do that? And before I knew it, tears were welling up in my eyes. This graceful gymnast noticed and asked me what was wrong. And of course I told her, "I think I hurt my leg." I was so intimidated and so insecure about my own abilities that I went home and told my sister I want to quit because of this girl. Luckily, my parents are like the wise old owls who didn't let me quit. They encouraged me that instead of comparing my abilities to this girl's in an envious way, that I should start taking notes of her technique and start practicing using those skills instead. Soon, the dialogue in my head was more, "Wow, I can do this," rather than resentment, which we all know is exactly what the comparison monster wanted me to feel. The lesson I learned is to use comparison in a way that helps you grow and attain your goals. Instead of feeling down and defeated when someone seems better than you, like the comparison monster wants us to feel, use their talent as motivation. Discover the steps they took to succeed and use them as your own stepping stones to reach your own goals. With hard work and a positive attitude, you can shine just as brightly. How many of you watched the Paris Olympics? And how many of you watched Simone Biles perform the most difficult skills ever done? She is considered one of the greatest gymnasts in the world. She is also a great example of how she used others' success to inspire her. When she saw Gabby Douglas win her medals at the 2012 Olympics, she said, "If she can do it, I can do it." Rather than compare what she could not do, she used Gabby's success as motivation to become the best and took the steps necessary to succeed. She is now the most decorated gymnast in history. So this leads me with sharing with you a few more pointers on how you can prevent that sneaky monster from making an appearance in your life. 1. Go on a social media diet. Instead of giving your time to social media, engage in something that makes you feel good about yourself. And always remember, what you see on social media is not a complete picture of someone's life. 2. Look in the mirror every day and speak words of affirmations to yourself. With a big smile, of course. 3. Be of service to others. As soon as we look outside of ourselves and start to serve others who are less fortunate than us, we will remove the tendency to compare ourselves to others in a negative way. 4. Last and probably the most important, have an attitude of gratitude. Zoom in on what you have to be thankful for, rather than what you don't have. Each day, take the time to write 3 things you are grateful for, and soon you'll realize your life is pretty good. And with that, you will be rid of the comparison monster for good. Thank you.